हरे कृष्णा। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we welcome all the devotees for today's Krishna book reading. So we are now entering chapter number 42, which is entitled. Okay, let me share my screen. Chapter number 42, the breaking of the bow in the sacrificial arena. So I will read first paragraph, then Sai Prabhu can read, and then Rishikesh Prabhu. After leaving the florist's place, Krishna and Balaram saw a hunchbacked young woman carrying a dish of sandalwood pulp through the streets. Since Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, he wanted to make all his companions joyous by cutting a joke with the hunchbacked woman. Krishna addressed her, "O tall young woman, who are you? Tell me, for whom are you carrying this sandalwood pulp in your hand? I think you should offer this sandalwood to me. And if you do so, I am sure you will be fortunate." Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he knew everything about the hunchback. By his inquiry, he indicated that there was no use in serving a demon. He would do better to serve Krishna and Balaram and get an immediate result of the service. Okay. Sahil Prabhu, you can read ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. The woman replied to Krishna, "My dear Shyamasundar, dear beautiful dark boy, you may know that I am engaged as a merchant and I have no desire to serve any thing. I see that there is no one who can better be served by this pulp of sandalwood than you two brothers." Being captivated by the beautiful features of Krishna and Balaram, their talking, their smiling, their glancing, and their other activities, the hunchbacked woman began to smear all the pulp of sandalwood over their bodies with great satisfaction and devotion. The two transcendental brothers, Krishna and Balaram, were naturally beautiful and had beautiful complexions, and they were nicely dressed in colorful garments. The upper portion of their bodies were already very attractive, and when the hunchbacked woman smeared their bodies with sandalwood pulp, they looked even more beautiful. Krishna was very much pleased by this service, and he began to consider how to reward her. In other words, in order to draw attention of the Lord, the Krishna conscious devotee has to serve him in great love and devotion. Krishna cannot be pleased by any action other than transcendental loving service unto him. Thinking like this, Lord Krishna pressed the feet of the. Roji, can you scroll down a little?
Is it visible?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, I scroll down. Is it visible?
Okay, okay. Yes, Prabhuji, it is visible. Since Krishna was, where was it? Yeah, how to reward her. In other words, in order to draw the attention of the Lord, the Krishna conscious devotee has to serve him in great love and devotion. Krishna cannot be pleased by any action other than transcendental loving service unto him. Thinking like this, Lord Krishna pressed the feet of the hunchbacked woman with his toes and capturing her cheeks with her fingers, gave her a jerk in order to make her straight. At once, the hunchbacked woman became a beautiful straight girl with broad hips, thin waist, and very nice, well shaped breasts. Since Krishna was pleased with the service of the hunchbacked woman, and since she was touched by Krishna's hands, she became the most beautiful girl among women. This incident shows that by serving Krishna, the devotee immediately becomes elevated to the most exalted position in all respects. Devotional service is so potent that anyone who takes to it becomes qualified with all godly qualities. Krishna was attracted to the hunchbacked woman not for her beauty but for her service. As soon as she rendered service, she immediately became the most beautiful woman. A Krishna conscious person does not have to be qualified and beautiful. After becoming Krishna conscious and uh, rendering service unto Krishna, he becomes very much qualified and beautiful.
Thank you. Rishikesh Prabhu.
When the woman turned by Krishna's favor into an exu- exquisitely beautiful young girl, she naturally felt very much obliged to Krishna, and she was also attracted by his beauty. Without hesitation, she caught the rear part of his cloth and began to pull it. She smiled flir- flutter- sorry, flutterously and admitted that she was agitated by lusty desires. She forgot that she was on the street and before the elder brother of Krishna and his friends. She frankly proposed to Krishna, "My dear hero, I cannot leave you in this way. You must come to my place. I am already very much attracted to your beauty, so I must receive you well. And since you are the best among males, you must also be very kind upon me." In plain words, she proposed that Krishna come to her home and satisfy her lusty desire. Krishna, of course, felt a little bit embarrassed it in front of his elder brother Balram, but he now knew that the girl was simple and attracted. Therefore, he simply smiled at her words, looking toward his cowherd boyfriends. He replied to the girl, "My dear beauty, I am very much pleased by your invitation, and I must come to your home after finishing my other business."
Hare Krishna. Some network issues, so I think it got
Network.
disconnected. Um, Let me share once again.
त्यात एक
Yes. Can you see
मध्ये त्यामुळे
can you see my screen?
नाही प्रभू.
आता दिसतंय का स्क्रीन?
हा आता
Such a beautiful girl. वहां से पढ़िए.
नाही प्रभू.
एक मिनिट. Let me just check my internet connection. Internet connection तर आहे.
हा आता दिस.
है ना? Continue.
हा हा.
Such a beautiful girl.
Such a beautiful girl, as you are the only means of solace for persons like us who are away from home and not married. Certainly, a suitable girlfriend like you can give us relief from all kinds of mental agitation. Krishna satisfied the girl in this way with sweet words. Leaving her there, he proceeded down the street of the marketplace where the citizens were prepared to receive him with various kind of presentations, especially betel nuts, flowers, and sandalwood pulp.
Okay, thank you. Dhruv Prabhu, एक minute. Dhruv Sharma Prabhu. ध्रुव प्रभु का आवाज नहीं आ रहा है। एक बार आप फिर से बोलिए।
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Go on. Can you read?
Let me read from mobile. Actually, I am reading from laptop, so it is. Krishna inquired from citizen as to the location of
नहीं
of
नहीं
the
नहीं।
place of sacrifice. Kamsa had arranged for the sacrifice called Dhanur-yajña, and to designate this particular sacrifice,
Wait, wait. Hari
big
bol.
bow near the sacrificial altar. Bow
We
was
have to read from here. The mercantile man.
rainbow in the sky. Within the sacrificial arena, this bow was protected by many constables and watchmen. Wait.
Hari bol. Dhruv Prabhu. Okay, I think some
Hare
network
Krishna.
issues. हाँ, मैं बोल रहा हूँ mercantile man से पढ़ना है. You missed one paragraph.
Actually, I read. Okay, I will repeat.
Yeah.
Wait. The mercantile men in the market worshipped Krishna and Balram with great respect. When Krishna was passing through the street, all the women in the surrounding house came to see him, and some of the younger one almost fainted, being captivated by his beauty. Their hair and tight clothing loosened, and they forget where they were standing. Krishna next inquired from the citizen as the location of the place of sacrifice. Kamsa had arranged the sacrifice called Dhanur-yajña, and to designate this particular sacrifice, he had placed a big bow near the sacrificial altar. The bow was very big and wonderful and resembled a rainbow in the sky. Within the sacrificial arena, this bow was protected by many constables and watchmen engaged by King Kaṁsa. As Krishna and Balram approached the bow, they were warned not to go nearer, but Krishna ignored this warning. He forcibly went up and immediately took the big bow in his left hand. After stringing the bow, in the presence of crowd, he drew it and broke it at middle into two parts, exactly as an elephant breaks sugarcane in the field. Everyone present appreciated Krishna's power. The sound of uh, yes, uh, the sound of the bow cracking filled both sky and land was heard by Kamsa. When Kamsa heard what had happened, he began to fear for his life. The caretaker of bow, who were standing by watching, became very angry, and with their respective weapons in hand, they rushed toward Krishna, shouting, "Arrest him! Arrest him! Kill him! Kill him!" Krishna and Balram surrounded. When they understood the sinister motives of guards, they became angry and taking up the two pieces of broken bow, they began to beat down all the Kamsa's caretakers. While this turmoil was going on, Kamsa sent a small group of troops to assist the caretaker, but Krishna and Balram out with them also and killed them.
Thank you. Dheeraj Prabhu. Oh, sorry. हाँ, यहाँ से. After this. So you can read both the paragraphs. Dheeraj Prabhu is there? I think he is not there. Aditya Prabhu, you can read.
Okay. After this, Krishna did not proceed further into the sacrificial arena, but went out the gate and proceeded towards the resting camp. Although the way he visited various places in Mathura city with great delight. Seeing the activities and wonderful powers of Krishna, all the citizens of Mathura began to consider the two brothers to be demigods who had come down to Mathura, and they looked upon them with great astonishment. The two brothers strolled carefree in the street, not caring for the law and order of Kamsa. As sunset approached, Krishna, Balaram, and their cowherd boyfriends went to the outskirts of the city where all the cows were assembled. Thus, Krishna and Balaram gave some preliminary hints of their arrival to Kamsa, and he could understand what severe type of danger was awaiting him the next day in the sacrificial arena.
Thank you. Next we have Saurabh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, 1 second.
Hare
I will just
Krishna. May
scroll
I
down.
audible?
Yeah, you're audible. I will just scroll down. Yeah, so you can also read the two paragraphs.
When Krishna and Balram had been going from Vrindavan to Mathura, the inhabitants of Vrindavan had imagined the great fortune of the citizens of Mathura in being able to see the wonderful beauty of Krishna, who is worshipped by his pure devotees as well as goddess of fortune. The fantasies of the residents of Vrindavan were now actually realized, for the citizens of Mathura become fully satisfied by seeing Krishna. When Krishna returned to his camp, he was taken care by servants who washed his lotus feet, gave him a nice seat, and offered him milk and palatable dishes. After taking supper and thinking of the next day's program, he very peacefully took rest. Thus, he passed the night there.
Thank you. Who has joined now? Dheeraj Prabhu, can you read on the other side?
On the other side, where Kamsa came to understand about the breaking of this wonderful vow and the killing of the caretakers, soldiers by Krishna, he would partially realize the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He could realize that the eighth son of Devaki had appeared and that now his death was imminent. Thinking of this imminent death, he was restless the entire night. He began to have many inauspicious visions, and he could understand that Krishna and Balram, who had approached the precincts of the city, were his messengers of death. Kamsa saw various kinds of inauspicious signs while both awake and dreaming. He is looking in the mirror. He could not see his head, although the head was actually present. He saw the luminaries in the sky in double, although there was only one set factually. He began to see holes in his shadows, and he heard a high buzzing sound within his ears. All the trees, therefore, yes. हाँ तो बस नहीं लिखो मिले. All the trees, therefore, him appeared to them made of gold, and he could not see his own footprints in dust or muddy clay. In dreams, he saw various kind of ghosts being carried in a carriage drawn by donkey. He He also dreamed that someone gave him poison and he was drinking it. He dreamed also that he was going naked with the garland of flowers and was simmering oil all over his body. Thus, Kamsa saw various signs of death while both awake and sleeping. He could understand that death was certain, and thus, in a great anxiety, he could not rest that night. Just after the night expired, he busily arranged for the wrestling match. Wrestling match.
Thank you. The wrestling arena was nicely clinched and decorated with flags, festoons, and flowers. And the match was announced by the beating of kettle drums. The platform appeared very beautiful due to streamers and flags. Different types of galleries were arranged for respectable persons, kings, brahmanas, and kshatriyas. The various kings had reserved thrones and others had arranged seats all also. Kamsa finally arrived, accompanied by various ministers and secretaries, and he sat on the raised platform especially meant for him. Unfortunately, although he was sitting in the center of all his governing executive heads, his heart was palpitating in fear of death. Cruel death evidently does not care even for a person as powerful as Kamsa. When death comes, it does not care for anyone's exalted position. Sahil Prabhu, last paragraph.
Yes, Prabhuji. When everything was complete, the wrestlers who were to exhibit their skills before the assembly walked into the arena. They were decorated with nice ornaments and dress. Some of the famous wrestlers were Chanur, Mushtik, Shala, Kota, and Toshala. Being enlivened by the musical concert, they passed through with great alacrity. All the respectable cowherd men who came from Vrindavan, headed by Nanda, were also welcomed by Kamsa. After presenting Kamsa with the milk products they had brought with them, the cowherd men also took their respective seats by the side of the king, on a platform especially meant for them. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 42nd chapter of Krishna, the breaking of the bow in the sacrificial arena.
Yes. So in this chapter, just to summarize, first couple of paragraphs, Srila Prabhupada mentioned about Kubja. उनका एक और नाम है त्रिविक्रमा. She was hunchbacked in three places. So like in Hindi we say Kubdi, in Marathi, Hindi Marathi we call it. So by Krishna's touch, that Kubja became the most beautiful women in Mathura. And some some devotees say that Kubja was Surpanakha in Ramayana, and she comes as Kubja in this pastime. Then after that, we read about the Vishnu Chap, the sacrificial bow, which was destroyed by Krishna. So here we hear from Acharyas that this bow was given by Parshuram to Kamsa. Uh, like if you remember in Ramayana also, Lord Ram he broke one bow in the marriage ceremony of Mother Sita in the Swayamvar ceremony in Mithila. That was known as Shiv Chop, Lord Shiva's bow, and Vishnu Chap, Lord Vishnu's bow was given to Parshuram, and Parshuram gave it to Kamsa, and that bow was kept for worship, Dhanur-yajña, and Krishna broke that bow just like he did in Ramayana when he was Lord Ramchandra. So to give signal to Kamsa that he has come to kill him also. And then at the end we saw how Kamsa saw the symptoms of death coming everywhere because he understood these two brothers are going to be the cause of my death. So he was not able to sleep at all whole night. And here Prabhupada mentions next day when he came in that fighting arena, he was surrounded by all his executive heads, but he was fearful because he knew that Krishna and Balaram will become the cause of my death. And then in tomorrow's chapter, we'll discuss about Chanur, Mushtik, Shal, Social, Kuvalyapid, and so many other whom Kamsa appointed to kill Krishna Balaram. So I think it's already 9 o'clock. So tomorrow's chapter is entitled, it's loading. Yeah, the killing of elephant Kuvalayapida. So we'll read tomorrow. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining. Sorry, today I got late because I came from book distribution. I was taking dinner, तो थोड़ा मेरे को लेट हो गया लॉग इन करने में. But I will try to join on time from tomorrow onwards. So we will start at 8:30 and close by 9 o'clock. So there is no time for question answers, so we'll end here.